The only fraud that was committed was me thinking that I knew what it was like, that I really understood what it was like to be married, and I really didn't.
Celebrity romances have a reputation for being short. Fame is like a minefield that can blow up your union at any time. Some are shorter than others. One union between a famous actress and a country superstar fits that bill. A whirlwind romance led to a 4-month marriage and a speedy annulment. Despite the judge ruling the marriage never existed, it will always live in their hearts. They won't forget their time together even if it was all too short. Keep watching to learn why Kenny Chesney and Renee Zellweger divorced immediately after this happened. How they met. Renee and Kenny met in January of 2005. They were both attending NBC's Concert of Hope to provide tsunami relief. In a 2022 interview with the Tennessean, he'd admitted that she was one of his major celebrity crushes. He also listed Charlize Theron and Janet Jackson among his 3 sexiest people, but had romantic words for Renee. He said, quote, "Here's a country girl who's still down to earth. You never see her coming, then wham, there she is. And that makes her really, really sexy. Plus, she seems like the kind of girl who could fit in and be at home anywhere." His song, You Had Me From Hello, was also rumored to be inspired by her famous line in Jerry Maguire. But Kenny's had a lot of problems with rumors in his life. Renee was also interested in him and had a small crush on him. She hoped to meet him and at least pass him a note during the event. Before she could do it, her publicist told Kenny about it. Perhaps they also thought it would be a great match. He walked over to her and jokingly said, "I hear you were trying to pass me a note. Don't let the principal find out." It worked like an effective pickup line, and they did have each other from hello. It began as a low-key, long-distance relationship. They even managed to keep it hidden from the world. The public didn't know they were a couple for months. In April, Renee went out on stage at one of his concerts and delivered him a margarita and a kiss on the cheek. They were married only a week after the reveal. Kenny and Renee's marriage. Renee and Kenny were married May of 2005. They wed in the Caribbean island of St. John. It was the first marriage for both of them. The ceremony was beautiful and intimate. She walked down the aisle in a Carolina Herrera gown with her father. There were only 35 close friends and family members as guests. It seemed like a love story fit for a romantic comedy. Their honeymoon period was hot and sweet. They both insisted they'd found their ideal person, and they didn't want to wait any longer to make sure. Sadly, this romantic comedy had a tragic end. How it ended. Renee actually hasn't said much about why the marriage ended after 4 months. She's a private person who doesn't believe in airing dirty laundry for the world to see. Kenny has a few possible explanations for why they fell apart despite still loving each other. He admits that his grueling touring schedule was part of the reason his marriage to Renee ended. He takes his job very seriously, feeling that his fans deserve the best. In his own words,
The energy that it takes for me to really focus in and do what I feel like they deserve and what they came and paid a lot of money to see, I'm very tunnel vision about it. And I kind of have the mindset, there might be a kid out there in the audience, and if I do my job, I might could change his life forever.
He also cites deeper reasons. Despite the seemingly perfect beginnings of their marriage, Kenny says that he panicked. He told Oprah in an interview that he wasn't ready to put the marriage into the box that included everything else he had worked for and wanted to protect. He wasn't ready to be married at the time, no matter how much he loved her. They both knew that ending the marriage was the right thing to do. The fraud rumors. Renee had the marriage annulled. The process judicially decrees that a marriage never legally existed. An annulment can be legally granted in California for several reasons. They may be granted if one or both parties are under 18, are of unsound mind, bound to a previous marriage, or gave consent to marry by fraud or force. The word fraud appeared as the reasoning on the document filed to annul the marriage to Renee. The only other reasons they could choose were things like physical abuse and other issues that had never come up in their marriage. He said,
we thought was the least harmful was fraud because it kind of broad, whatever it is, it doesn't specify. Oh boy, we were wrong.
The problem with the word fraud is that it's actually too nonspecific. It allowed for rumors about anything to be created, even questions about Kenny's sexuality. Kenny didn't feel a need to prove anything and refused to comment on the rumors at first. He later felt that speaking out against the rumors as early as possible may have been the right move. He said,
maybe I should have come out and said, no, I'm not. But I didn't want to draw any more attention to it, but, because I knew I wasn't. I didn't have to prove to anybody that I wasn't, I didn't feel like that I really did. It's not true, period.
He didn't go in early, but eventually had to take a stand. He decided it was time during a revealing interview with Playboy. He said there was a long stream of women who could confirm he was not gay. He even claimed to have slept with over 100 of them. Renee was also part of the efforts to stop the rumors. She still cared about Kenny and attempted to get the truth out there. She wanted to clear the air and hopefully make the rumors stop. She said in an interview that she wanted to, quote, clarify that the term fraud, as listed in the documentation, is simple legal language and not a reflection of Kenny's character. I would personally be very grateful for your support in refraining from drawing derogatory, hurtful, sensationalized, or untrue conclusions, and greatly appreciate your understanding that we hope to experience this transition as privately as possible. The rumors continued anyway, so both stars laid low for a while. It was enough time for their reputations and their hearts to heal. How are they today? Kenny eventually made a statement on The View in November 2005. He had nothing but positive words to say about Renee. He said he was grateful for the short amount of time where they were truly in love, and that it would have been a bad thing if he never met her. Kenny also says he has almost no regrets about the marriage. In his own words, quote, even though I'd sit here and say I wish we'd gotten divorced instead of all that annulment stuff and saved me a lot of public humiliation, I still don't have any regrets. I loved her, and it was real. The intense public scrutiny he faced during the relationship has also turned Kenny into a more private man. He even says, quote, you'd have to be crazy to want to be a celebrity today. Renee feels a great deal of sympathy for him. The times when Kenny's sexuality was put under the spotlight. She feels for him and thinks it was a terrible thing to happen to anyone. Despite her feelings, she sometimes forgets the short marriage even happened, though she knows it's a major thing to forget. The two stars haven't been soured to the idea of love entirely. They've continued to date other people, and both Kenny and Renee are now in new long-term relationships. Kenny has had a string of relationships since Renee. He dated Amy Colley, Miss Tennessee 2005, for 2 years. That lasted until he was spotted with ESPN broadcaster Jen Brown in 2010. He's also been linked with other country stars like Sarah Evans and Miranda Lambert, but those turned out to be just a part of the rumor mill. Today, he's dating a model and dancer named Mary Nolan. They've been dating since 2012. He keeps the details extremely private this time, and the two are rarely photographed together or seen together. Despite this, when they do go out, they seem happy. She was his date to the American Country Countdown Awards in 2014. They were also together at the CMA Awards when she gave him a congratulatory kiss when he won the Pinnacle Award. Renee divorced longtime boyfriend Doyle Bramhall II. She's since been with British TV star and motor specialist Ant Anstead since 2021. It's unclear if either will ever get married again. Their unfortunate union may have put them off on the idea of marriage forever. That's yet to be seen because they both seem to be hopeless romantics with problems finding the right person to settle down with. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite short-lived celebrity romance? Let us know in the comments section below.